And on the line with me is it Micheline Crowell? Am I saying
Micheline Crowell.
Micheline Crowell. Thank you. The Chief of Staff and Senior Advisor to the campaign for Bernie Sanders for President. BernieSanders.com, of course, is the website. And Micheline, very nice to meet you. Thank you for joining our program.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So there's a bunch of things in the news I'd love to get your take on, or the campaign's take on. First of all, this whole issue with voting problems. We've got the long lines in Arizona. Perhaps more troubling is this very, very large number of people who report that they were registered as Democrats, or they thought they were, and then discovered that they weren't. We're now getting reports from New York State and from Oregon of the same thing, of people saying their registrations have been flipped. Any idea what's going on?
Yeah, I wish I did. I mean, I think this is certainly a problem when you've got people who've never changed their registration status showing up at the polls and finding that they're no longer registered as Democrats. We've seriously got a problem here. Senator Sanders has not been shy about going into the courts. In Ohio, he went in to protect the voting rights of 17-year-olds who would have been 18 by the time of the general election. So, these are things we're looking very, very closely at with our attorneys to see if there are things that we can do prior to those dates. But I think your last caller was spot on, that people have got to take this into their own hands to some extent and make sure that they're registered, bring their paperwork with them to the polls, and double check on their registration. I know it's starting to get too late in some places, but certainly this is something we're looking at with our attorneys, and we're very, very concerned about it. I know the senator is.
Yeah, the Republicans. I'm just going to move through a couple of topics here, if that's all right with you.
Yeah.
The Republicans have been going full bore George W. Bush in the response to the Brussels attack. We've got to find someplace to kill somebody. We interviewed somebody. It might have been on the TV show yesterday or the day before, as I recall. I think it was the day before, from Brussels, who said that. In fact, it was one of the RT reporters from Brussels who was on the ground. And she said, the people here are not calling for vengeance or retaliation. The people here are calling for people to come together, for the community to unite in love, and, for people to heal around this sort of kind of the Newtown response, like people did after the Newtown massacre here in the United States, rather than the chest-thumping rhetoric that we're hearing from Ted Cruz, from Donald Trump, and in a smaller level, I suppose, from Governor Kasich. I'm curious your take, the Sanders campaign's take on this Republican chest-thumping stuff.
Yeah, no, I think it's absolutely ridiculous, and Senator Sanders really wants to bring people together, and that has been the force of his campaign. And Trump calling for a return to torture techniques, and we've already gone too far in violating the civil rights of Muslims in America here, and we really cannot further divide people as we respond to this. We really do need to come together and work together with the international community to try to give them the resources that they need, intelligence-wise, and support overseas, to make sure that we really are doing the best we can to prevent these types of attacks. So, I think the senator is just really dismayed by the level of rhetoric that's coming out around this, and it's not something that's productive, and it only hurts us around the world.
Yeah, and the vitriol associated with it, it's almost. It's like it's contagious here in the United States somehow.
It really is. It really is. And I think, patrolling Muslim neighborhoods, these are just things that, that add to terrorism and add to extremism. And, we need to be coming together as a people and uniting against extremism. This is not something that the senator likes to see. And I think he's going to continue to put his positive message out there and try to bring people together in a peaceful way to address this problem.
Yeah. And I'm just, for the record, want to add we reached out to the Hillary Clinton campaign. If anybody listening has more juice with that campaign than I do, to invite a Hillary Clinton surrogate to come on and basically have the same conversation with me that you and I are right now. But there are elections coming up. There are 3 elections coming up this weekend: Washington, Hawaii, and, as I recall, Alaska. No.
Yes, Alaska.
Yeah, Alaska. Mm-hmm. And the senator's got a rally in Portland today. Do I have that right?
He does. Yeah, he's got a rally today at 12:45 in Portland at the Moda Center, and he's also going to be in Seattle at 7 o'clock. The doors open at 4, and that's at the Safeco Field. We'd love to have people turn out for those.
Yeah, and for the caucuses and things like that. So, what do how do we work to motivate people? And frankly, even if they're, it pains me to say it, but even if they're Donald Trump supporters, I mean, people need to participate in their democracy. How do we motivate people to get out and vote?
Absolutely. I think that we're just seeing that one vote can make a difference in so many places, and we do need to get people to understand that staying home is not an option this time. I know that this is such a different election cycle, and I think people are wondering what to make of it, but I think people need to get out and realize that their votes really do count. The caucuses in Washington and Hawaii are places where I think the senator is going to do very, very well. I think the corporate media has tried to put out this line that everything is over and that Secretary Clinton has won this, and that's just not the case. I mean, we are very, very close to tied in terms of delegates, and we're moving into a part of the map that is going to be very, very favorable.
Great.
And people do need to keep turning out.
Great. Hang on just a second.
Call 202-536-2370.
Michaeline Crowell, the Chief of Staff and Senior Advisor to the Sanders Campaign, BernieSanders.com. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. We'll be...
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.